Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. We're live on the Morning Wood Radio podcast with your host, Hunter McIntyre, Log Living Larry, and your co-host, Ryan Thierry, a.k.a. Ernest P. World. How's it going today, Hunter?
Dude, how did somebody comment in our thing before we even went live?
Maybe it's just like a pre-post pod thing that they can just send their comments in, and as soon as we go live, it hits. Good morning,
All right,
Mike
good.
Sauce. Mike with the sauce.
I just want to make sure because I literally was just camera on, taking a turd 2 feet to the left of us. That would be embarrassing. You may have seen
The
me
sound was
naked.
off. I didn't hit live until we just started rocking out there.
Really, I choked for a second there. I was like,
Are we live?
I think this dude may have just seen me coming out of the bathroom.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, pretty proud of myself. Wash my hands and everything. Dude, I'm out here. You see the fire roaring in the background? It's cold as fuck out here, dude. It is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a wood furnace, but that thing actually heats your entire house. It's not just for show, right?
No, that wood fireplace heats the entire house. So basically, we went, chucked that bad boy on. I filled it up with fire last night, kept me warm. Now, like here in the room, dude, we have like isolated chambers. So my room is basically an isolated chamber where I keep a roaring fire. I was going to leave this till later, dude, but so around here, there's tons of, the power lines that are running through the mountains.
Yeah.
And there's all these huge ass trees. And Edison is getting sued still for some of the fires that they kind of created. I don't know the best way of really, pointing the finger at them, but they were part of the fire. So they're doing a lot of preemptive tree trimming just to make sure that things are safe. And they took down like a 150-foot tree right next to my house. And
I just walked. What was on your Instagram story of you lighting it up with the chainsaw?
Dude, that thing, it's got to be 30,000 pounds of wood over there. It's insane. It is. That pile's like 3 times the size of my truck, and it's dense ass wood. I can't move it. Like, I don't know how I'm going to chop it up.
Yeah, well, you just got it little bits at a time. But holy shit, I mean, even with a chainsaw, that thing looks like it took forever to get through.
Here's what I'm thinking. I've got a couple more weeks of like hard ass Ironman training, and then I'm going to start to taper. And some on the taper days, I'm just going to take the chainsaw out. It's going to take me like 6 gallons of gas to get through this and 6 gallons of bar oil. And I'm just going to have to start chipping away at it because winter's around the corner and I plan on spending a fair amount of time up here. Last year, I rented it out, which was a huge mistake. Guys, do not ever take a home of yours that you regularly use and actually care about and rent it out on Airbnb. People are savages. They're disgusting.
Is that the Airbnb horror stories? You got any for us?
Oh my God, dude. Especially women. Women are disgusting creatures.
Uh-oh, what happened?
So this is like, they had a brand new septic system in here. We ran through the plumbing. We had inspections. Within a year of this home being owned, and because I don't have a lot of girls up here, it's just usually a bunch of guys training. These people are flushing like hundreds of tampons down, just like an alarming amount. And those wet wipes you use to like wipe at a baby's ass, they're flushing those down. Wipes? Yep. So
there is a disclaimer on there. It's like if you have plumbing that's older than X amount, you probably shouldn't flush these.
Yeah, well, these people are not smart. They're retarded.
I don't read them.
Yeah. So I rent this playing out. Like someone contacts me and they're like, we want it for 6 weeks, 8 weeks actually. And I was like, deal. I'll cut it down to $2,500 a month. And it was listed at $300 a night. And I was getting it like 10 nights out of the month easily. So cut it down to $2,500. They take the deal. First month goes through. I contact him because I'm living in Colorado at the point. And I was like, are you sure you want to keep this house? Because I don't need to keep my house in Colorado anymore. They're like, yep, 100%. Now, imagine they've been flushing stuff down the toilet for a long time now, and it takes a while to accumulate its size to the point where it starts to back up and become an issue. Now, all of a sudden, they contact me on like the 5th week. They're like, hey, Hunter, we think you have black mold in the house. And I was like, no, I don't. Then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, seriously, like we're starting to get like rashes all over our body. And I'm like, why don't you call a plumber and get this thing set up and I'll pay for it all. Like, I just am in Colorado. There's not much I can do. Just contact them, set up a time that you're going to be there. and I'll take care of it. They don't do that. They're like, it's getting much worse. We want our money back. We want to get out of here. And I was like, one, I'm not giving you your money back. Two, like, you know, I don't, you have no reason for me to give your money back. Like, unless you can prove to me there's something wrong, then I'm not going to help you out in the situation.
Yeah.
Then we eventually just get to this point where they're like, we're really struggling. Like, if you could just give us some of our money back. I give them half their money back for the second month. I come in, I have a plumber come in. Now they're telling me that there's stuff gurgling up through the sewage and there's water leaking all over the house and stuff. And I was like, this seems odd. So I contact this plumber. The guy tells me that they'd flushed all these things down the toilet, and basically they were stomping in their own shit in the shower. Sewage was coming up through the shower. All these things that they thought was dirt was just their own poop. They were stomping around in their own poop, and they were getting rashes all over their body. And I've never had the guts to tell them. I was like, I'm enjoying the fact that you guys kept your money, and I get to laugh every single day about the fact that you guys have been smearing shit all over your own bodies. And especially in the dead of winter, like cold, like that hot shower is just meant to be a pleasant moment for you, and you're covered in your own poop.
And the dirt is coming up.
So yeah, they had to have that. Completely unclogged. Like I had to have like all of these crazy sewer drains and everything, like all of like the caps taken off the sinks and ripped out, and all this hair pulled out. It was like Chewbacca had lived at my house for 6 years in 1 month period of time.
You know, the sewage coming up from underneath. I don't know if you've watched it, but there's a Netflix TV show, or it's like a mini series called the Trainwreck Woodstock '99. It reminded me of like, it got so bad. Woodstock '99, MTV, Korn came out, went crazy. Then Limp Bizkit was there. They had to like shut it down the last night. They had candles and they were like literally burning the set. But in the middle of this, the people didn't realize it, kind of like what your guest sounds like, but they were all going in on this puddle, and it was just, where did this puddle come from? They had limited amounts of water. The puddle was the sewage that came from the porta pots, so they were doing like getting head to toe in mud, and their mud was sewage from the porta pots. They're like, this is crazy, but it was porta pot sewage, and they didn't realize that till years or weeks later when people were going to the doctors, and they're like, yeah, you were exposed to fecal matter
infection. Yeah.
Holy
crap. I mean, I sympathize just because of that parasite stuff just recently, but at the same time, like, these people had it coming. And okay, so then another time I had somebody dispute the claim for money because these idiots, there's a picture, like look at the picture right now. It's like my room and everything, the bed's made and the fireplace is on the background. One of the pictures I posted is the table set and the fireplace in the background outside at our home. They come and there's sticks all over the place and like little needles and stuff. And they're like, it doesn't look anything like the picture. And I just wrote them back. I'm like, listen, take one of the brooms, brush the table off, and light the fire.
Then you'll have your picture.
There. They're like, no, this is definitely like, marketed as something very differently. And
you mean the wind happened?
Yeah, Airbnb actually sided with them. Okay, so then another one was these people came and stayed at my home in the dead of winter. This was like the week before Christmas. They rented it for 4 days. They're like, it's extremely cold in here. Why isn't the heat on? It's very much listed on our cabin that we do not have heat. Everything is done by fire. I left firewood there. They used the firewood. I was like, it's so cold in here. I was like, have you lit a fire yet? They're like, no. So then they light a fire, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we ran out of firewood. And I was like, go to the store and go get more. They're like, this is very expensive. And I was just like,
beware.
I don't fully understand what you thought was going to happen. I just think people are just like alarmingly stupid. Just recently I went biking with somebody. No, I'll tell this story another time, but
I think when you have to rent those Airbnbs out, it has to be like a rental property type of thing, to where you live in another house. This is a secondary or third house that you're the owner of, but it was purchased and now you're renting it for purely Airbnb only. Like I've rented houses in Newport Beach for like a bachelor party. like 10, 15 person bedroom, and then as well as like ACL Festival in Austin. But these people don't actually live there. It was all kind of like stock type of furniture that you'd see in like the home store, but very durable. But it was like stuff that the people that own the house don't actually live there. So it's just like a maintenance property. That way you don't fall into, I mean, we didn't mess it up or anything, but like if it did get messed up, these people weren't coming back to it and like, shit, now I got to live in this godforsaken home that these people just trashed.
Yeah, dude, I'm at the point now where it's like, I'm going to keep this for a little bit longer. I'm saving up for this bigger home up here, and then I'll get rid of this. And even there, I'm probably going to have a hard time because I'm planning on hosting all these camps. It's just tough. If you're not around, it's tough to have projects like this where people are just fucking around with their stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Airbnb, even though it's like really, really cool, I think it's a great business structure. I think a lot of people who are I know so many people are like, yeah, I'm gonna Airbnb my house and stuff, and I was like,
good luck.
Dude, you know Augie, the guy who manages me, he literally would Airbnb rooms in his house and just have strangers come and stay with him, and he covered his mortgage all the time. I just don't know how he did it. Like,
well, the first time that I actually rented with Airbnb, I didn't realize the three different options that you have. You can rent a space, which is like a couch in somebody's room. You can rent a room, and then you can have the whole place. I was in DC visiting my buddy for the whole time, and he let me stay the first night, but the second night he's like, you need to do an Airbnb. So I got on there, and I was like, oh, it's pretty cheap. And the guy that I rented from kept messaging me and was like, well, you know, when are you going to be here? When are you going to be here? I was like, oh, the hell fuck does it matter what time I'm going to be here? But I showed up and he brought my bag in and then went in and sat on the couch. I was like, this is weird. So I didn't realize that the option is like rent a room. And that's what I did with him. I cut the price down, but then he's hanging out there in the same house as you because you're just renting a room. So it's not a bad option for the example of, you know, people messing up your stuff and like
shoving shit.
I don't know. I just stayed in my room the whole time and like slept. But that's definitely an option. Is like you can rent a couch or rent a space or rent a room. Sounds like that's what Augie did.
Yeah, and he killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really would like to get into the industry of doing this, but I just think that like our focus spread out amongst builder, house.
I don't think that is the next thing to get into right now, real estate for you.
No, but dude, I think it's so much fun. It's like actually like now that I'm up here in this town and I'm situated up here, like it's nice, and I feel like I could just become a slumlord. And I'd walk around with like a bat.
You need a property manager if you're going to do that properly.
But I would walk around with a bat with like rusty nails out of it and a little bit of blood. Like they're like, "What's that on your bat?" I'm like, "Oh, I was painting."
Oh, like the what's that? The zombie thing.
Yeah, you're thinking Walking Dead.
Yeah,
something like that. And I would collect rent. I would fucking crush it. I'd be the greatest landlord. I'd be like, here's 2 ways to cut this check. Either I'm going to pull my pants down or you're going to pull your... No, I'm just kidding around.
Ties him up. No, we're going to run up this hill. The person that loses running up this hill has to owe me rent. Let's try.
I'd also declare prima nocta, which is like, I don't know if you remember in like Braveheart, like when you wed the first night, I get to yes. I'd be like, you know the rules of the land. You know.
Your landlord contract's going to be written on like scrolls with ink.
You pay your dues to your lord. Like, wait, Hunter, please. We thought this was a joke. We didn't read the fine print. Like, no. Come, my lady. Put him in my like rusty Bronco and throw him in the back and drive away.
Who is this landlord guy?
What the fuck, man? This is crazy.
It's the craziest landlord I've ever lived with.
It's in the fine print, goddamn it. All right, so let's hit some news. Like, I'm a big news fan. My father's in the news. If you guys are interested in learning about financial news, you should check out my dad's new Instagram page. Because I told my dad, I actually did this test with Ryan in the house. I was like, Dad,
right
nobody reads the news anymore.
I thought I was getting interrogated. Ryan, hello. Yes, sir. Have you watched the news? No. Do you realize that Putin has just put out a statement that you could be hit with a nuclear bomb within the next 3 weeks? I was like, I did not know that, sir. I'm sorry. No, I was just checking. I was like, okay.
Yeah, my dad's an intense guy. So am I guess. So yeah, my dad, like, you know, he's been He ran one of the top 10 magazines in the world at one point, Financial World, and he's run big businesses and big media houses for a long time.
Yeah.
Now he has 24/7 Wall Street. And I was like, Dad, you are literally like, here's what's going on here. We got 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, all the way up in age brackets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Dad, you're literally like barely even scraping the surface of 40-year-olds. Like almost everybody from like 40 years old and younger are taking all of their information through like on their phone.
It's little news snippets, like 6 to 10 second things, and it's like, oh, you want to watch the whole thing? Link in bio, you know, watch the whole story.
So I had my dad switch over to doing like now he's got his own Instagram, and I said everything you need to know about Wall Street in 30 seconds or less. So he makes all these new videos. But I've always been fascinated by news.
What's the handle?
Put it up. Let's go. Yeah. Just make sure. Let's see here, bitch. I share my dad's stuff every once in a while. He's a gangster. 247_wall_street.
McIntyre, 24/7 Wall Street in New York. Last week we had a little lesson in sucker rallies, particularly in bad company stocks. IBM, which is one of the worst tech companies in the world,
I love this
reported good earnings, and there was a rally. A lot of people said, wow, that stock's going to keep going up. Good news. Wow, it's going to keep going up. Well, guess what? The day after that rally, the stock flattened, and it's going to stay flat, and maybe it's going to go down because IBM is a crummy company.
Oh,
investing in crummy companies usually isn't going to make you much money.
Dude, that is just lighting up IBM. I hit him. You guys gotta go check this out. And like my dad, he's a really incredible person, and he's incredibly intelligent. And I think listen, I'm not trying to support him because he's my father. I'm trying to support him because honestly, you're not going to get better sources of media out there than this guy right here.
And he went all in on creating content in like a day.
Well, that's because I told him, I was like, what are you doing, Dad? Like, you have all of these employees that work for you. You are the head of the business. You're the one who went to Harvard. You're the one who's run a dozen like mega big companies. And now you literally are aging yourself out of the news realm because nobody gives a shit about long form media anymore, at least in type. Like, sure, that's what I'm saying. Like 40 to 100. My grandfather, he ran basically the equivalent of New York Times. That is Liam Neeson. That's my dad. He will fucking kill you if you try to take me. But basically, my grandfather, he ran the equivalent of the Detroit Times. I think it was called Pontiac Press. I'm really wrecking this right now.
That's good.
But our family's always been in newspapers and media. And like my dad really does have all the best information out there. And I was just like his mic. You need to get polished up a little bit. And I just told him, keep on making content every day. And he's doing more content than I'm doing.
Yeah, he's got 45 posts. The only thing I would say is like you can, I can do a video, but you scan, what you could do is you can scan and make what the outward post is going to look like, and you can scrub it, and then you could put like the picture of this is what the topic is, and you just have that picture, and then instead of it saying because IBM, it would say what your scrub, what you want your profile thing to look like for that post.
Dude, you're taking my dad to like trigonometry right now. We're going to focus on just getting videos up.
Just videos up first?
Just getting videos up,
This is good. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Don, my dad's a fucking beast. 203,000 Twitter followers. You should understand, though, Twitter is for old people, older people.
Hey, Elon Musk is about to break through and just kill all the bots, and then it's going to go back to regular shit.
I can't wait. I really hope Elon Musk just goes in there and just like wrecks house, because in reality, he has the right to. He bought it.
Yeah. He's going to take it over. He's going to get rid of the bots. He's going to have people that are following people that are real people. And it's going to get back to the true, okay, this is a person commenting, and you know that this person isn't just a automated AI thing.
Listen, dude, I think TikTok is a crock of bullshit. Literally, I know so many people that are nobodies that have like 250,000 to 1 million to like 50 million followers.
Yeah, getting on the algorithm.
And the views are just massive. I just feel like it's some kind of like Like, how do you even know that these companies are really telling you how many times something's been viewed? What? It's so smart if these companies really just said, hey, we're just going to 5x some of these people's numbers so it looks like they're getting really engaged. Because I, as a producer, when I realize I'm getting a bunch of content, like likes, I want to produce more. It gives you a little high.
Yeah.
And then you all of a sudden as a consumer, you look at it, you're like, wow, this person's got so many this person's got so many posts and stuff, like, and they've got so many views. They must be amazing. So it just creates this like sense of urgency to do more, to get more involved.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. I got to stoke the fire.
Okay. He's going to
I want
stoke
to freeze to death, guys.
We're going to give you a random fact of the day. Did you know 1 in 5,000 North Atlantic lobsters are born bright blue? And Hunter's about to freeze to death if he doesn't stoke this fire. I don't know if Hunter can hear me, but how far away can a skunk's smell be detected by a human? It's up to 1 mile. I know this isn't very interesting, but I don't quite know what else to say. He's sitting on his lawn chair there and getting ready to come back to us, hopefully soon. Did you know stop signs used to be yellow as well? That is a fact. Put it on the board. All right. There are 10 human body parts that are only 3 letters long. If you can answer these, then we'll give you a thumbs up, likes, and we'll put you on the thing. Can anyone type in what the 10 human parts that are only 3 letters long? No one? Bueller? Okay. It's in eye, hip, arm, leg, ear, toe, jaw, rib, lip. Boom, skadoosh.
I think we should have a contest to see who's the manliest man on the planet. I think a lot of people think that this Liver King guy is the manliest man on the planet because he's just like bare chested, eating like just raw meat.
Yeah,
you can eat raw meat for
everything is
time.
Testicles.
Literally, if he wants to sit across from me and see who can eat more raw meat, I'll whoop his ass. And then we do his barbarian workout. I'll whoop his ass.
70 pounds. I tell you what, I saw the barbarian workout. I don't follow him. I see the videos that pop up on Snapchat stories. So it's like sponsored Snapchat stories. The 20-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid that came in to live with Liver King,
he whooped his ass
for a weekend. Yeah, came through first by like 20 minutes on his barbarian workout. The 70-pound dumbbells, wearing a vest, dragging a sled. And I think I don't know what else is. And you're walking a mile with 70-pound kettlebells in each of your hands. And he came through first, like the 18-year-old.
But we should just have a manliest man on the planet contest. And I think I could win that.
Yeah. Well, he also walks through the water with holding those same things. I don't know. You're just holding yourself down. I don't quite know what that adds. He also wears wrist straps for carrying, kettlebells holding down. I thought the wrist straps were for supporting your rips on doing like overhead presses, but it's Liver King.
I'm just thinking though, like there's probably some guys like in Kazakhstan and stuff like that that are pretty fucking tough. Like these guys, I don't know if you've been watching UFC lately, but I think like 30%, if not a little higher, of the UFC roster right now is completely dominated by people from the Middle East. Like this region, if you look at it, I remember looking at this map where if you look where the majority of Olympic gold medalists for wrestling come from, it's in these extremely tiny regions. Like it's like Cuba and like a little bit in China. And then like all of it is in regions where like per 1,000 people, there's an Olympic gold medalist. Wow. If not more than that. It's
do we have an Olympic gold medalist potentially on this podcast right now?
Okay, let's break down the skinny. I raced this weekend in paddling, and
you got your boat in.
I got my boat in. We'll get to that. But I raced this weekend, and I think I broke my second paddle. Like, I don't want to hear back from these people because I borrowed a paddle and I broke it last race because I literally am hitting the water with so much power. I'm snapping paddles.
Shit. Now, so these are obviously not wood. They're metal or plastic.
Wood with carbon fiber blades at the end. And now it was an outrigger. It was a just under a 10-mile race. And you're sitting in this outrigger. It's got this basically a beam coming over to another like kind of a flotation ballast right here. And I'm ripping into this thing so hard. And I think I maybe came like 20th place. There had to have been like a couple hundred people racing. I maybe came 20th to 30th place. I don't know, in my division overall, whatever. Basically, well, this guy just said the shorter you are, the easier it is to gain muscle mass.
Yeah,
That's not
I looked
true.
at him. I don't know that he's 4'11". You just do a simple Google search. He says he's 5'7".
No, that's not true either. But basically, just to break down the skinny, I'm so powerful, and got such great endurance, but I'm so inefficient. I raced a woman from the inlet all the way in, which was probably about 3 to 4 miles at that point. And I'm torquing the water, like creating like a back, like a boat.
You created your own race within the race of you're like, I'm going to go head to head with this lady right here next to me and see what's what.
I'm like this.
Hang on. You cut out. Wait, hold up. Whatever you did disabled your mic. That move.
How about now?
Now you're in.
Trying to show paddling. So I'm ripping into the water, and I just look over, and now I'm racing against this woman, and she's just in the kayak like this. She's got. I'm bare chested, and there's like veins coming out of my chest, and my arm, and my back, and she's got a float. She's got like a PDF on, like a flotation, PFD on, personal flotation device on. She's just like this, and we're racing. I can hear her breathing a little bit because we're racing. But she fucking beat me, dude. I kayak, capsized my boat like 100 feet from the finish line in front of everybody at the finish line. And I screamed the F word really loud in front of people. I was like, fuck! I was just so angry. I'm killing myself. I'm still so inefficient. And honestly, dude, like I was just like, I know I can get there. And then all of a sudden,
so you have the power. It's just more of the technique. It's kind of like if you go race or if you go try to go play racquetball, right? You're the fittest guy. You can do like side to side athleticism. And then you go and you play this guy that's got kind of a port belly, but he knows all the angles. And all he's got to do is pop it in the angle, and he hits it right in the corner, and it's dead. And you're like, how is this guy winning? He's just got more technique. And you got all the speed, you got all the power, and you could outrun him 10 times over. But like with that kind of sport, it's not about the fastness. It's more about how you know the angles. So it sounds like with that speed racing, as long as if you can get the technique down, you're about to skyrocket to the top.
Well, I'm going to tell you a fun racquetball story. Actually, squash. So totally out of the left field with this one, but if I don't tell you guys, I'll never remember it. I got a modeling contract and I moved over to Barcelona. I'm over there with a couple American guys, one American guy, one Australian guy, one American girl, one British girl, and then like, a couple Spanish girls. We're all in this modeling house. We got this gym I think it's called Francina Sport.
Okay.
And we go over there and there's a gym and like we lift weights all day long. We're like really into modeling. We're like perfect. We're like
this is the Zoolander house.
This is a Zoolander house. It is fucking
You're living
awesome,
the Zoolander house when they get their orange frappuccinos doing gas.
I'm the poorest I've ever been in my life. Like I cannot afford anything other than like the very bare minimum meals. Very bare minimum. My roommate Brent, who's a good friend of mine, like we've been friends for fucking over a decade now. He modeled with me in New York City, Barcelona, LA, like Miami. Homeboy would just give me so much shit and he would chew me out for like eating his protein bars sometimes when he wasn't there. He'd be like, you motherfucking shit cunt, you fuck. You fucking touch my fucking protein bars, you shit fuck. You fucking broke fuck. He'd rip into me all the time. Now, we would go to these things and there were squash courts in the gym. And like we would watch because it's all glass and you're watching these guys playing. And I was like, holy shit, like I want to play against these guys. So I'm tired of lifting weights. Like we're all testosteroned up. We're like, let's play. So like we're sitting there with like our rackets. Now they speak purely Spanish and we speak purely English. There's zero communication between us. They ignore us for the first couple hours. We just sit there like fucking hawks, just being like, let us in. And eventually they let us in and we were so shit. We're just like chopping at the rackets, running around. They're very technical. I swear to you, I spent probably in this couple months that I lived there, I probably spent 15 to 20 hours a week sitting at those squash courts, talking shit. They don't know what I'm saying.
Not playing at all, just talking.
No. We played. Oh. We got in eventually. We eventually got in. They allowed us in there and stuff. But some of the best times of my entire life. Zero communication, not like all hand gestures, and me cussing, obviously, them cussing at me. But these older men and us, just the most incredible experience ever. If I could go back, take away all my money, everything, give me that racket and give me that club, I'd be happy.
Just the pure sport. Like, you don't have to have communication other than everyone has to know the rules. And by that, you just have the power of playing.
Yeah, it's beautiful, dude. But now back to paddling, dude. I have to say, I literally have not felt this way in years. Like, I'm such a novice at this thing. I get nervous at the beginning of the races. I don't know what I'm doing. And then
actually struggling.
Oh my God. I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm getting my ass kicked so badly. I've been talking to this one paddler, this girl. She's like a under 23, Olympic hopeful and national team hopeful. And she's a kayaker. And I went out there and I was like normally if I talk to a 23-year-old girl in our sport, I'd just be like, yeah, like come work out with me. But like, I'm the king.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? I was so nervous to meet up with her. I was like, oh my gosh, like she's going to see how stupid I look. Oh my gosh. Like, cause I'm trying to make friends with everybody. I'm trying to get people to help me out here. So I'm texting everybody I can and I'm making really great friends and everyone's really kind to me, to be totally honest. So like, look at the big dumb guy. And like, dude, I got my ass handed to me. So the second race I actually did in my sport, which I'm trying to get into, which is sprint canoeing. It's a 4-mile race. I didn't even start with everybody else. I kept my boat on the beach. I waited for everyone to start. And then there was canoers that like a bunch of teenagers, like kids that were like 13 competing in my sport. And I just wanted to watch them. So I watched them. And then once I see them go by, I start paddling out there. I get into the thing. And now there's like a draft of the water. It starts spinning my boat around. I capsize in front of everybody. And I'm like, So I paddle over to the shore. Now I get back in the boat. I don't capsize anymore. But now I'm in the very back. There's a man who's probably about 90 going like this. And he's beating me. He's beating me because you have to understand, I hit like 3 powerful strokes forward. I'm like, wow, I'm doing it. And then I start drifting left.
Because not only because you're paddling on one side of the boat. I've watched a little bit of this. So not only are you paddling on one side, it's not a back and forth, but like a Russian twist type of thing. But then also the way you lean on your knee also directs how your boat is floating through and like torpedoing through your direction forward, right?
Yep. I mean, dude, there's no rudder or anything like that. Everything you're doing is based on the way that you lean the boat with your body. And apply pressure, and then also the paddle. So you're like you can turn it this way. You're doing these little micro movements. So if I hit it like this, it's going to direct my boat maybe like 1 to 5 degrees to the left. If I hit it and pull the paddle up against the water as I'm coming out and apply upward pressure, it's going to start to turn my boat to the right a little bit. Now, let's just say I'm still figuring it out. Like I'll hit 1, 2 like upstrokes, and then all of a sudden my boat turns like 10 degrees, and now I'm just starting to rotate. And I'm like, I'm fucked. There's nothing I can do. And I was like,
Wait, no. Pedal back.
Yeah. So I only did half of that race because I went down and I watched everybody, and then I paused my boat on the side of the bank and I watched the kids come back, and then I traced them. And just by being in the water with these kids and watching them paddle, I picked up skills that I haven't even done in the past like 2 months of paddling. Now I've been paddling very infrequently because I've been waiting for my boat to come in, which is the topic now. My boat finally got here.
Nice.
And I want people to know that, like, I want people to know how seriously I'm taking this.
Tell us.
My boat cost me $4,800.
Wow.
That's
not just a like, oh, well, let's just do some chump change. Let me go get into the piggy bank for the day. Yeah. It's like a serious commitment, which is why I can see why you said, well, I'm not just going to go out and buy another bike, guys. Like this is for fun on my Ironman, but like for serious on the paddle.
Yeah. But I'm just going to stack all this up as a gift to the group that helped. They had to fly over here with the boat. Wow. And then my coach, Rami, he helped set this thing up. And I took all the family out to dinner. It's another $300. So now we're at $5,100. I buy a new boat rack for my truck.
Yeah.
It's another $1,500. We're at now $6,600. Someone stole or lost my paddle out of the house, the whatever it's the boathouse. That's another $500. Now we're at $7,200, 7,100.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it's on. I've already invested so much into this. I've never invested that much in a bicycle. I've never invested that much into anything for High Rocks. It's on, people. I'm fucking out.
And
I'm
I
done
feel
being
like
a dry lander.
this, even though the boat has no engine, this just goes back to the description of being a boat owner. The best day, well, maybe not for you. The best day of having a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
Yes.
And then the better option is just knowing somebody that has a boat.
Yeah. Well, I can't do that, dude. Like,
No.
I can't, because I need to get into this boat. And this new boat that I just got is so advanced, I can barely even balance in it, because this one is literally less narrow than my hips.
Is it? Are the boats kind of set up like surfboards, to where you have the longboard and you get on the longboard when you're kind of a novice, and then the boards get shorter and shorter as you get more and more experienced?
No.
It's
just it's a vessel of length and a vessel of weight. And they at one point had what was called the delta, where they had to measure it out in its width, and there had to be a certain amount of width that the boat had, but then they pulled that out. So now it's just as narrow as you can possibly make it. Now, I'm telling you, this has got to be the most technical thing. Like, I could snatch my body weight pretty quickly. This I am literally devastated by. It's so incredibly hard. It's going to take me a long time to get there, but I swear to God, once I get it down, these people are dead. These people are dead. And it's all I can think about.
Do they have something, you know how in gymnastics, to learn how to flip, like this harness, and so no matter what, you're not falling into the ball pit? Do they have something to where on the shore in the dock, you sync it up, and then you could
Zero.
You just get out there and you do it.
You're effed. You just gotta hustle. Give me 2 seconds. Got to put the wood on the fire. I want to freeze to death.
Stoking it. There he goes, folks. So is this wood that you're using, the chopped wood from the new 125,000-pound tree? All right, one last, oh my gosh, fact. So OMG, the usage of that can be tracked back to 1917. Did you know that? The usage of the phrase OMG.
What about? What?
The usage of the phrase OMG can be traced back to 1917.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, I feel like that acronym should probably have been earlier. Because, oh my God, the words "oh" and "my" and "God" have been around for a long time.
OMG.
The fact that people
BRB.
only just started using it in 1917, you said?
17, yeah.
Means that people are slow.
Should we follow 24/7 Wall Street on House IG?
100%, dude.
All right.
Share their content constantly.
Okay.
Now that I'm all revved up talking about sport, I want to talk about there's a new thing that I want to introduce to the show called the Beef of the Week. So, one, I already mentioned my paddle's been stolen.
Yep.
2, Beef of the Week, we're going to talk about sports. So, 2 guys that I've competed against at World Championships for High Rocks just beat our world record. And they've always been talking about it. They've attempted it several times, and they got it. Congratulations. But what I said to people is I don't really believe in courses. I believe in horses.
Horses, yeah.
In reality, it's
What do you mean by that?
It's so different setting world records. Like the guy who just won Ironman World Championships doesn't have a lot of like records around the world. He just won the World Championships, which is meant to be the pinnacle moment where all the champions are supposed to come in and compete against each other. You could be a champion of European Championships, North American Championships. You could hold the world record, but you're supposed to congregate at one point in time in the year, and you're all supposed to compete at the highest level to find out who is the truest champion. And that's just the reality of sport. Even if you don't agree with the distance or whatever, if it's the World Championships, that's where the the best athletes are competing. So I poked the bear. I said, guys, like, so what? Go get my world record. Congratulations. But you still haven't beaten me. You guys, like, if you guys really want to do this thing and you want to say you're the best and be really proud of yourselves, let's compete. HYROX is not going to put this thing on independently. So I said, hey, listen, $5,000. I'll give you guys $5,000 cash if you can beat me. And you give me $5,000.
You got to bring it with you. It's not like, oh, I got 5K in the.
I'll go into my closet right now and pull out $5,000. Like, you have to have it. A lot of people can't say that they have $5,000 to their name. And the reason why I want to do it is because, you know what? It increases the stakes. Like, I don't do this for a hobby anymore. I've got paddling, but I'll come out of my shell and I'll come back onto land and I'll basically compete against you guys and put the Baltimore beat down on you, but you have to show up with some cash. And, you know, you should be surprised by like how like these people were really offended. They're offended by the fact that I would offer such an opportunity. And a lot of other people contacted me and they were like, that's unsportsmanlike conduct.
I think that's a talking shit. I think that would be like me going out and saying, well, Hunter, I beat your 5K time. Okay. On a regular race, on a regular Saturday that you're doing on a regular, back in high school. It's like, oh, I beat your 5K time. Oh, okay. But was it for the championship race at this event with thousands of spectators? No, it was just a regular track. Okay.
Yeah. But
that's what we have going on. It was just a regular course. You weren't competing against anyone but yourselves. There's a whole new level of just adrenaline when you're at a championship course, when you have that person that is holding the course record, and now you're going head to head, because it puts its own level of difficulty on it that you aren't quite thinking about when you're on just a random course in a random race.
Completely. I thought about posting this, but people are too sensitive. But I made this yesterday.
I'm currently riding my bike in the mountains. I'm going to give a public service announcement. I'm getting a lot of comments from people saying that I've been doing unsportsmanlike conduct by calling out the people who just beat our world record. I'll announce to you, first of all, you have to be a sportsman to have sportsmanlike conduct. So if you don't compete against me, you have no right to tell me what to do. I'm the cream of the crop, baby. I'm the #1 in the world. So I set the tone. Don't get upset. Don't watch my stories if it doesn't inspire you. I'm just trying to get athletes out there to run harder, work harder, improve the sport by competing at the highest level. And I offered a cash grab to compete against me. And if they beat me, they can have the cash. So stick to your lane, sit in the bleachers, and watch the show, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to post that.
It's as simple as that.
Well, just so impressive, man. Like, first of all, like, these guys should really leap at the opportunity to compete for cash. Like,
$5,000 is more than HYROX is putting up for a regular event.
They're not going to put up any money, and I'm not against HYROX for not putting up money. But you know what?
No, because it was just a regular race. That's the reason why they're not putting up big cash. It's because it's just a regular, run of the mill, regular season race.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm at the point in my career where it's like, I don't have to go back to HYROX, but dude, nothing would make me happier. I even called Kent. I was like, if you want to pick a doubles partner, bring $5,000 too. So that way it's $10,000 on the line for the team that wins. And we all just show up and we all compete.
Man. And now we're getting into like Fast and the Furious. Put your pink slips up on the line.
I'll be paddling 6 days a week, but I'll go into the gym and I'll do a couple necessary workouts and I'll run hard. And I'll beat the living shit out of those guys.
And when you compete, you're talking doubles, right? And you and Tom were doubles that hit the world record. So was that pro weight that you guys were pushing, or was that just men's open division weight?
Oh, men's open division weight. It's nothing.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, but it's got to happen here on American soil. You're coming to the champs territory.
You know, I got a message back that says all weights and everything has been standardized now. So
no.
Yeah,
No.
so that's why I was like, I saw a video and they're like, "Are you ready to race?" You know, they say that fitness is can this race be for everybody? I said it would be a lot better and would be for everybody if the sleds, the types of weights that you use on the sled and the carpet were all the same. And then I got a message back that says all races have been standardized this year.
Listen, we've been doing this for a while, and we mention it on almost every single show. I'll just give you a very easy breakdown, dude. Like 30% of the fields that qualified for world championships was American. and the rest were European. And you know who dropped out of the race? Like 2 or 3 Europeans. And then you know what they did when they got to the race? They took a plate off because they recognized the Europeans were having too much of a hard time.
Yeah.
Dude, these guys were qualifying with alarmingly fast times, super fast times. And then they finished like 5 to 8 minutes slower at World Championships. How's that possible? And they took a plate off. So you have to understand, like, the most important factor of High Rocks has nothing to do with the majority of the stations. It's everything to do with that block of the sleds and how much it aerobically and like how much depth, how deep it puts you into like a lactate hole where it just overloads your muscles. And when you do not ever hit that level, the rest of the event is completely different on your body.
Your legs feel on fire. I mean, I went after it on my first couple and I was like, oh, I'm just going to do this without stopping. Like I pushed it all the way through for the 12.5 meters. And then it felt like my legs had just done, you know, the 20 rack back squat 100 times. And
there's
then
a reason
said,
why,
go out and run.
There's a reason why there's that famous term in CrossFit called rhabdo, where basically your body overloads and starts dumping proteins into the blood system because it breaks things down at such a high level and it overloads your system. That's kind of what happens on a light level during High Rocks. And if you're not prepared for it, it'd just be like, you know, Fran is a workout where you take a 95-pound barbell, you go like this and you do the pull-ups. Well, it's 95 pounds. Okay. So now imagine you like, you know, in Europe, it's the equivalent of like 75 pounds. You're taking off 25% of the weight basically. And it's going to be a very, very different workout. And they're not willing to admit it. So whatever. That's another beef of the week. Pipe it, Europeans. Another thing, I'm going to put research into this just so that people really can understand this. This is another beef of the week. I get contacted every single time that I post about Builder, about sucralose, because it's the ingredient that we use as a sweetener. Everyone's like, oh my God, sucralose, blah, 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 blah.
What I remember you saying, what happens if we didn't put any type of sweetener in there? Tell us what that tastes like.
There are a ton of options for sweeteners. Sucralose, I really believe in flavoring. Okay. Flavoring is important to me. And honestly, guys, BCAAs are one of the most disgusting things on the market. It's a very chemically pungent taste. So I don't want to have to deal with that. We're consuming it at high levels, and low level of sucralose that we use in there is so insignificant. It's not going to be a big factor on your guys' health. And so before I get into the depth here, because I always like to bring in science, and I didn't do the work before I got here.
Do you want us to flash the phone number so we could have?
Yeah, go for it. People can call in if they want to.
Parker is listen to this while I get the banner up. High Rocks is claiming carpet for the sled is the same worldwide now.
It's not true. Yeah, okay.
But then I still think that, or I still see that they're using the metal 45-pound plate as opposed to the rubber bumper plate.
Even that, if you have to understand it, if your guys are pushing into something and the weight is balanced, okay? So just imagine like the way if you ever try to lift a barbell up that's really, really long, like if you try to lift a 45-pound barbell up and go like this, or pick up a 45-pound dumbbell and lift it up like this, it's totally different because the way it's basically displaced in the weight. So people need to understand that. But I'm getting distracted.
Okay, sorry.
One thing that I want to say to you guys is basically we're going to bring in this data about sucralose and low levels of sucralose and why it's important to flavoring, especially if you're going to be taking in BCAAs. But one thing I want you to understand, if you guys are sitting here and bitching to me about sucralose being in your diet, I want you to understand that if you are eating anything that didn't come directly out of the ground, like if I walk outside and I don't pull a potato out of the ground or grab a squirrel out of the tree, smack its head and eat it right there, literally, you have to understand everything that you guys are eating is being denatured and is being chemically manipulated at such a fucking high level. Dude, your water bottles, like plastic is leaching into everything that you're doing. Everything is getting heat exposure and denaturing it. Everything is in plastic containers. Like, dude, everything that you're having has some kind of, whether it be preservative, sweetener, something. It's not what you think that you're consuming, and you're consuming it on such a high level. There's almost nothing you can do about it. And I'm not trying to say be a part of the problem, but understand that we are not the biggest issue in your life when it comes to really having holistically high-end ingredients in your diet. Like there's a couple of people that I can't remember his name, like Agostino or something like that. This guy who's like the carnivore doctor, he lives in like Maui, and he's like constantly like picking fruit off of trees and eating meat. And he's like, this is the way you need to eat. And most of the people who are watching this video live in a condo or apartment in Manhattan. They're on their iPhone. They're touching just non-organic material all day long. All day long. And the amount of influence that these non-organic materials are having on your body all day long is insane. And right now I'm listening to this book that I've chipped away at a couple times, and I absolutely love it. It's called Inner Engineering, A Yogi's Guide to Joy by Sadhguru. And it's like one of the things that this guy is like mentioning here, and it's very like basic stuff. He goes, like, you need to like think about it. It's all talking about grounding and basically having these levels of like electricity from the earth coming out and like touching your feet and having this like organic substance against your feet at all times and kind of regulating your body. And he's like, dude, take your shoes off when you're walking outside, because there's this comment where it's like, if you wear leather shoes, the whole world is covered in leather. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really touching the world. You're just touching leather at all times. In reality, like, if you guys are not really having this completely organic interaction with the world, you're having an inorganic one, and you're having substances applied to your body, ingested through your body. Like, even if you're putting sunscreen on, guys, that stuff is leaching into your skin and things like that. You're literally going up against unnatural substances all day long. Sucralose inside of Builder is not the thing that's going to kill you. Okay. So pick your battles, and I'll bring in data. So next time you guys, are here, literally, we don't have to fight about it. We can just really dig into the weeds, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. Well, the sucralose that's in Builder is not body weight proportionate.
Yeah. It's alarmingly stupid. Like, I just made a post about Builder, and I was just talking about just some of the scientific studies. Most people are sitting here and they watch something that they consumed on TikTok for 15 seconds. They're like, I know everything there is to know about sports nutrition now, and I understand how the system's trying to take me down. Fuck you, sucralose. And I'm just like,
I watched a 30-second video. Now I have a Harvard degree.
Yeah. Drives me absolutely nuts. Okay, so there's my last chunk of beef. Okay. Also, another chunk of beef. I bought this Nebo flashlight for $130 3 months ago. This thing is expensive as fuck, and it's already broken.
Did it die?
I contacted the company. They're like, yeah, we don't really know if we can help with that. Fuck you.
Wow.
Who spent $130 on a flashlight?
When I was there at your house, I had to make the fire the one night. I had a bike light that, was about 6-7 inches long, just as bright. I mean, I don't know. It was like $40-50, and it lit everything up. I don't know that you need to spend crazy amounts of money. Like, just go after the simple bike light. That's what I had.
This one's incredible when it works, but I'm just saying,
technology is good when it works, I guess.
Yeah, when it works. All right, so last but not least, we're just going to do a last minute news update, and then we're going to talk about some things that we have going on in the company. But first of all, I want to give a big shout out. Dietrich, the founder of Red Bull, just died. And I just want to say that guy, I don't know how many of you guys drink Red Bull, but it changed my life in the way that, like, when it came out, we thought we could do stuff that was impossible. And it changed the game. So I'm grateful, man. I'm going to give you
their cartoon characters right off the bat have a guy flying with angel wings, and it was specifically right after he did a big gulp of drinking a whole Red Bull.
I get it. But dude,
the marketing on that was genius.
They got behind extreme sports. They did everything. They supported people in my realm, and I'm grateful. So I'm just going to throw it out there, dude. It's the MVP of beverages, and I think they changed the game. They made independent sports and extreme sports like really first level. They brought it up to the major leagues, and they changed the game. And if it wasn't for Red Bull, like, really towing the line, like Nike gets behind basketball, football, track and field and stuff like that. Like, those are the majors. But it was something like Red Bull that came out and really changed the game and supported independent sports, which I'm grateful for. So, dude, it's it's just an amazing company, and you don't have to like Red Bull. You just have to support Red Bull because, Red Bull and vodka, gangster.
RBVs.
Yeah, dude.
$25 polls in Vegas. They're worth it.
Dude, Miami's such a shit show when it comes to that stuff. It's best, dude, just to stuff a bunch of flasks down your pocket and just get and carry Red Bull with you into the club.
And you just reach into the.
Yeah, dude. That vest right there, gangster, dude. I love that thing. I'm happy for you.
It's like my life preserver sometimes. It does keep you warm, though. Not gonna lie.
Dude, I got my Builder hoodie on underneath here, and I've got this over top, and I'm trying to stay warm.
We almost have the same shirt on, just different colors.
Yeah, dude, you got to get yourself a nice puff. This is one thing that I just like hit the news today, and I don't want to really dig deep into it, but they're just saying right now math scores are lower than ever because of what happened in COVID and kids were out of school. Like, what did you expect?
1 year. 1 year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not really that bad. Like, their scores are down like 5 points. It's nothing that crazy at like an average of like 270 something. So it's not that alarmingly crazy. But yeah, of course, man, the whole world is going to regress when you try to shut it down on a global level. And yeah, like people are gonna fucking lose focus. They're gonna lose potential. Like I lost potential when I went into my races. I just lost focus. And
yeah, not that parents don't know how to do it, but there's a reason why teachers are teachers. And for an entire year, you were being told to go home and, you learn from home. Well, who's supposed to teach it the thing besides from watching YouTube videos or reading what's in the book?
Yeah, but, I'm starting to get emails around from my family now that COVID's coming back, a new variant.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come back. We don't give a fuck.
We don't want you.
We don't want you, dude. Like, you know what? I totally agree. COVID's real. People got really sick. That sucks. Yeah. But I ain't playing that game again where I'm locking shit down, dude. I'm staying up here in the hills. Anybody can come and join me. That's why I bought this cabin, because this town in the sheriff that supported San Bernardino County didn't support like this like insane, intense lockdown.
COVID lockdowns.
Yeah. So
I think it's been well proven that if you have healthy immune systems, if you don't have a obese body frame, you have if you do get it, you have a better chance of getting through it and getting over it with the proper medication on it.
Yeah.
And being physically healthy, fit.
We're over it. We are moving on to greener pastures. Okay.
Grass is greener. COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. I don't want to hear about it. Don't talk about it. If you don't talk about it, the problem isn't real. Don't you remember when you were kids that you're like, oh, there's a monster under the bed. There's a monster under the bed. And as soon as you shut up about it, the monster disappears. Okay.
It's the same thing.
Just shut up. Okay. Stop letting it get in the headlines. Stop sharing all the articles about it. It's fear mongering. Okay. We're over this shit. And stay healthy. Exercise. Okay.
Yes.
So that's going to take us into the next thing.
Walk it out. Walking is good.
We are literally about to launch our training camp. It is the best deal that we've ever put out in our company. I changed from the Lean and Mean Challenge to training camp because I want people to understand the mindset of getting into a training camp. And it's virtual. You don't have to be here with me. And we create all of the blocks of what I use throughout the 10 training camps and like 10 seasons that I use to win 9 world titles, 5 world records, all of these things. You can set your own world records and you can set your own world titles and set your own goals and notch them off. Okay, guys? So the best way to handle, this is something I'm really irate about. And like, this is a rant. The best way to handle a healthy immune system is to be a fucking healthy person. Don't eat like shit all the time. Don't sleep like shit all the time. Move your body so it's hard. Okay, guys? Soft bodies get taken out by these little fucking parasites very easily. Okay? Don't put yourself in a pre-diabetic state because you eat like shit all the time. And you don't take care of yourself. So we have a training camp that literally is an actionable that we are literally taking every single day for 8 weeks to make you guys go through a transformative experience to help you understand and basically take on the holidays so that you don't get to January 1st looking at yourself and just being like, who's this hippo in the mirror? And not only is it care about just transforming your body, but it's also your mind. Okay, guys, why would you not want to start out the new year in a place where you feel stronger than ever rather than a place of desperation and being like, fuck my life. I'm so fat. I don't know what to do. I need to fix this. I need to sign up for a gym. Get there feeling like $1 million. It's just like me showing up to a race. Why would I show up to a race underprepared and feeling like shit? I show up looking like a titan. My mind is sharp. My steel is sharp. My shield is strong. All of those things are kind of metaphorical, but in reality, guys, learn to take these steps and these daily actions that literally can transform your life. You don't have to live under this umbrella of the training camp all the time, but you take it throughout with your life with you, and you basically become a better person. So not only do you look better, do you feel better, but you're stronger for daily actions. And also when these shitty things, variants of some fucking extended and over-exaggerated flu comes, you're fucking ready to go. I get sick. Guess what? I get over it. People that aren't prepared, they get sick and they fucking really get suppressed and get kicked in the nuts by it. Okay, guys? So not just trying to harp on the sickness thing, but just in health and wellness and happiness in general, guys. You guys should be taking this seriously. And we created this for a reason, because I actually care about the people that are around me, and I'm tired of seeing people make excuses. I'd rather see gold medals, okay, in your daily life. That's what I'm looking for. Does HAOS training cure COVID? I think the healthiest people are going to handle this thing very, very well. Okay. It's simple as that. You know what? They also would say, like, you know, I remember when they were pitching this bullshit, they're like, oh, if you're extremely healthy, maybe your immune system's too strong and it's going to overreact to COVID. I'm like, oh, really? Fuck, that sucks. So maybe I should treat myself better. Like, you know, I should
be in
stay away
less
from the
good shape.
gym. Yeah, I should be less in shape so that I could be underprepared for this thing, because if I'm overprepared, I'm going to over-exaggerate it. My body's going to kill itself. Fuck no. I'm not going to do that. And you know what? If I die looking like a titan, at least I look good in bed when I get laid down, okay? Fuck it. I'm not going to be some fat, porous piece of shit. Sorry. That's my rant. Train hard. Take care of yourself.
Train hard, eat right. Where can we watch Battle Bunker this weekend? Ooh, that's a good transition.
Yeah. In reality, Battle Bunker is going to be across all channels. We'll have some of our channels. Alex is going to be doing behind the scenes, basically kind of like our perspective of kind of the race director and founder. He's going to be filming everything that we're doing behind the scenes, making like a mini doc. Battle Bunker and all channels are going to be doing this thing live, which will be awesome.
Yeah, so on Austin's channel, his Battle Bunker channel, he's already had, you know, Alex go down, our video guy, and figure out and work with his team on making sure that the live stream day of is just on point. So definitely, if you subscribe to his channel, that's where you're going to get instantly notified that, hey, they're live, you know, going through the first event of 3 start. Do you know what time events are going to start on Saturday?
You should be tuning in, and this is early, but if you care about what you love, then you don't care about what time you have to wake up.
Yeah.
6:30, we're going to go off with the first wave. 6:45, depending on the light, we're just going to test it.
AM? So that's 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern.
Dude, we got 3 events.
Yeah, you got to start early.
Who cares about, you know, an early start? So we got 3 events. We got the Triple R, and that's going to be going from 6:30 to 8:30, and then we have like an hour break, and then starting at around 10, we are going to go off with the FUBAR, 10 to 12, and then at 12, we're going to have a 2-hour break, and then we are going to go off at 2, and 2 to 4 is going to be the obstacle championship.
Nice.
Yep. So it's going to be an incredibly heavy day of competition. It's going to be amazing.
So the way it's weighted, if I really mess up and I just get plumb dead last or second to last in the first couple, do I have the option in the third one, which is the obstacle course race, to like come back? Is it weighed heavy? Yeah. Probably not.
It's golf scoring.
Okay. I kind of like that, because there are some like TV shows to where you fuck up in the first couple rounds and the last round is so heavily weighted that it doesn't really matter what you did in the first couple rounds. It really can just concentrate on doing well in the final round. I kind of like how, you know, even though if you mess up within the first 2, it's not so heavily weighted on the third obstacle course race that you could just put it by the wayside. You know, it doesn't matter what you did.
Well, think about it, dude. Like if you get fifth, and fifth, you get 15 points. But let's just say you get first, and 15th, you get 17 points. And now all of a sudden, the person who got 5th across the board on everything wins the tournament, even though you won 2 workouts. So, you know, we're looking for that well-rounded athlete. It's like let's just say you can run. I remember this is when I first started training and I went to go do the Navy SEAL test. I went in and I dominated scores across the board. Like they had not seen scores this fast in the running and the swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I went to go do pull-ups and I got like 13 and I sucked. Like, guys were getting 30, 35. I went to go do push-ups and I got like, I don't know, like 80. And there's guys getting like 120 to 140. I went to go do sit-ups. I got like 70. There's guys are getting well over 100. So like my strength endurance sucked. And it's like, yeah, sure. I was a great endurance athlete because I had done cross country, but I didn't have this, strength endurance, which was really an important factor of the test. So we're really looking for that well-rounded person, and it's, battle-tested fitness, battle-ready fitness. We'll answer Trevor's question, then we're going to sign off. Trevor, equipment that's needed for each tier of our workout system. Pro is one of these kind of programs where it's meant to be like a full gym. It's if you want to train for high rocks, DecaFit, strength endurance.
You're going to need sleds. You're going to need ropes to pull that sled.
Well, and listen, sled's one of those kind of things where we give scalable options because that is pretty rare in some gyms, but it's ideal if you have it. But having the cardio machines like a ski erg, a rower, an assault bike, like that's really important. Having a pull-up bar, that's important. Having a barbell so you can lift heavy weight, that's important. Having like dumbbells, that's important. And then you pretty much in a wall ball, you cover it. Like we're not doing this kind of thing where you need all these perfect machines like in a bodybuilding gym. Then we've got Look Good Naked, which is a bodybuilding program. Dumbbells, basically just dumbbells. Having a cardio machine is ideal, but you can do running instead. And dumbbells and a barbell. The Intro Athlete is just all about having just limited equipment. So it's just dumbbells and body weight. And then OCR is very limited equipment. And it's mostly based around running. So you get all 4 programs for the price of the full package. And you get all this cool content like nutrition PDFs, mindset PDFs, all these things like the rules of the game PDFs. So
those PDFs that he's talking about, it's a 20-page welcome packet, and then I think we're at about 40 pages for the nutrition and figuring out your body type. Those are just getting finished up, and they look great. They're about 40 pages long. So, and those pages aren't separated by like multiple pages of Hunter. Like it's all content in there,
Yeah, well, we busted our asses on it. It's solid ass content. Individually, all of these things we priced around $100, and we're giving you like 4 or 5 items for the price of one. And you get all these cool Zoom calls where we talk about this stuff and kind of give you guys lessons. So it's a valuable ask and a valuable give. All I ask you guys is if you sign up that you show up, and you're going to learn about it when you get there. And it's best to be a present person because we've talked about it. Studies show that if I hold you accountable, we're 65. If I tell you my goal and you tell me your goal, we're 65% more likely to be hit our goal. If we hold ourselves accountable continuously, we're 90% more likely to hit our goal. So we are all about accountability and containable work inside of the group because we keep it contained, we work together, and we focus hard and we push it. So it's gonna be badass.
Kyle, if you are missing a ski erg, yes, you can still do pro. There's machines, assault bikes, row, elliptical, something to spike your heart rate. You don't need necessarily a ski erg, but a machine that would lend you to spike your heart rate, and you could do the pro.
I'll tell you the truth, even though it's nice to have a cardio machine because I love cross training, and it's important to apply yourself to that strength endurance that you can't get without machines. In reality, the fittest people that I know will show up without having a machine and still beat the people that are not trained. So if you're getting your cardio in, if you're getting your strength training in, that means you're fit, and that means you can apply power. And if you're fit and you can apply power, that means you can beat the shit out of a machine. So that's the truth, dude. Like I almost never touch these machines in off season. I've been biking, I've been running, I've been doing limited swimming, to be honest. And I could go up and show up on a machine and I'll still row under a 620 on a rower, under a 630 easily on a ski erg. And I don't have a problem. If I polish it up, sure, I may take off 20 seconds or so, but in reality, that just takes a little bit of time. Marshall,
we will see you.
Yeah, buddy. Train hard, dude. You should be representing House, working your ass off, dude. There's gonna be some.
I've seen Marshall with these crazy heavy sandbags. He's one to look out for.
Yeah, well, the sandbags are not going to be that heavy, dude. They're going to be, it's just about repping things out and being able to take. Because in reality, dude, like military, it is nice to apply strength, but it's better to apply intensity. So we're going to make you work your ass off and go hard. Peeps, thanks for tuning in. We've been on the show for an hour and 9 minutes. That's crazy. I'm actually going to post this this video and see how much it stirs up the pot.
Stir it.
Yeah, I'll see you guys a little bit later. I got to get to work.
I'm going to go have some breakfast.
You should have some breakfast. Then we got to get on a call and we got to nail some of this stuff down, guys.
We will have these uploaded. The last 3 that we've done, they have been uploaded. That's my fault. They'll get uploaded today on all our podcast, Spotify, Amazon, right here. You'll be able to find them soon.
Good. All right. I'm going to go chop some wood. I'll see you. Thanks, guys.